In this video, I want to go over 5 great reasons why you should have your pavers sealed. We run into a lot of customers that, believe it or not, they have pavers at their homestead and they call us out for an estimate and they have no idea why their pavers should be sealed. So this is very common. A lot of people are coming here from somewhere else. They buy a house, they have pavers, and they just want to get some direction and advice on how to take care of them, how to maintain them, and whether or not they should have them sealed. So in this video, let's go over the top 5 reasons why you should consider having your paver sealed. Number 1 is just bringing back the color. If you've ever been to a paver deck here in Florida that's at least a few years old, it's very common for you to get to that, let's say, pool deck in the back, and what you'll see is the pool area that's exposed to the weather. It's all faded out, and then the area underneath that's covered, it's got all of its color, dark and rich color still left, and so there's this big contrast. And so that is just a telltale, easy way sign of the damage that the sun and weather can do here in Florida to the pavers over time. It completely sucks out all the color. So sealing your pavers, especially with an enhanced or wet look option, really does a great job of reviving and bringing back the color that's still in your stones. The next reason is just increasing the lifespan of that paver. It's no doubt that a sealed paver will last much longer than an unsealed paver, just because of the protection that a sealed paver gives you. And that leads us right into one of the other benefits, is protection against weathering and erosion that's very common, particularly like off of a roof line where large amounts of water, especially during the rainy season, will beat up those pavers directly underneath. Or we see a lot of times like a screened-in lanai where that area just has a constant drip throughout the years and it erodes the pavers underneath. So sealing those pavers will help slow down that erosion. Another thing it'll do is it'll help prevent or eliminate stains. So you have a vehicle out front that's parked in the driveway, a sealed paver. If you accidentally got an oil leak, that sealed paver is not going to allow that oil or transmission fluid to penetrate that stone like an unsealed paver. Or if you're out back in a pool deck and you're grilling and you accidentally knock over that drip pan, or you're putting suntan lotion, all of these things are very common. They spill onto the pavers, they stain them over time, and having a sealed paver will make that stain much easier to clean up, or not even stain the paver at all. I've got in my pool deck here, I've had a couple of instances where, like I'm talking about, where I dropped the drip pan from my grill and I just wiped it up right afterwards, and I have no indication of a stain or a drip there. And then the last thing I want to highlight that sealing pavers helps with is slowing down weeds and mold. While nothing will 100% stop mold or weeds, especially living in the area that we live in, where weeds germinate every 21 days, combined with 55 inches of rainfall a year, that's impossible to expect to eliminate weeds or mold 100%. But if you seal and you put sand in between that paver joint, and you use a stabilizing sealer, which we use, not all sealers come with a stabilizing component in it, but the one that we use has a stabilizer in it, so that when we do put the sand in between and we seal later on, it hardens that sand, and that's what makes it a little bit more difficult for weeds to poke up. Or you've got a sealed paver and we're going through a heavy rain season and you got a lot of humidity. Even if you do have mold that pops up, it's typically very superficial. It's very easy to clean and wash off versus an unsealed paver. So that's 5 good reasons. Number 1, enhancement of the color. Number 2, increase the lifespan. There's many cases where pavers will last 50, 100 years as long as they're maintained over time. Protection against erosion was number 3. Number 4 was prevention of stains and damage. And then the last thing, probably the most common reason behind wanting to get the color back that customers like is that it helps slow down and mitigate mold and weeds. So those are 5 good reasons why you should consider having your paver sealed here in the Florida region.